What is going on, guys? It's Rylan with Rylan's Amazing Photography, and today we're doing some creek photography. As I mentioned, today we're doing creek photography. This could prove to be a little challenging because the creek is extremely dry right now. We haven't had rain in quite a while where I live. The equipment I'm going to be using, I'll go ahead and get that out. I'm using a Xiaomi M6 tripod. I'm using the Nikon D500, and I'm using the Nikkor 24 to 70mm lens. It is a bad time of day, I'm not going to lie. The sun is directly overhead. But down in this creek, it's completely shaded, and I'm going to be using some ND filters, so it should be alright to do long exposures, which I'm definitely planning on doing. So, without further ado, I got my muck boots on, and let's get in here, and I'm gonna get in the water and we're gonna take some pictures. So I'm down here in the creek, and I'm probably gonna go back in this direction behind me, because if you look over here, it's overexposed, and we don't want to be overexposed. So back this way is a lot more shaded, and if I'm going to be doing long exposures, I'm going to want to go back that way. There's some birds down here though, so this location might make a comeback for some wildlife and bird photography as well. I would have to be on foot though, which would be very challenging. You noticed that I was in jeans, and I showed you that I had on my muck boots, but it's really not that bad hot, which is surprising. I think it's only in the 80s today, so I'm not sweating and burning up, and the humidity level isn't that bad either. So it's actually a good day for this. Not to mention, when you're wading through the creek in the shade, it's obviously a kind of cool anyways. It's not cool, but it's a lot cooler temperature than it is out in the sun in the heat. So I'm gonna head back in this direction and look for some compositions. So I've set up a composition here, and I like this shot for a couple of reasons. There's green leaves with the sun shining down on them in the middle of the creek, along with somewhat of the creek flowing. It's nowhere near as fast as what it typically would be if we had a lot of water, but it's there. And on top of that, back in the photo, you can kind of see the reflection of the green trees from above us in the water, because the water is really still and calm back in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and snap the photo. I'm using an ND filter. I'm not sure what degree the ND is, but it's on there, and the shot's, it's beautiful in my opinion. I think it did really well. It's good and sharp. The colors are perfect. So I'm gonna go and set up and look for another composition, because we're gonna get more than one photo I think today. This is fairly early in the shoot. In fact, that was the first photo I'd taken, and it looks pretty good. So I'm gonna search for some more compositions. This video is nowhere near over, and I'm gonna get on with it now. It's so slippery through here. Where I'm standing right now, just about fell. It's fine. These rocks, especially the ones, you can tell when they're slick, and they kind of have like a greenish and dark blackish tint, and if they got that, you better be watching out, because it's very slippery. So it's gonna kind of pose a challenge to me moving on to the next step back in here, because I don't want to get too close to the banks because of snakes, and I don't want to fall because I'm carrying, you know, camera equipment. So gonna try to figure out how to do this, and I'll see you all at the next setup. And by setup, I mean like me, you know, about to take a picture. It's your favorite photographer, and I found another composition. This is a lot harder than what I thought it was gonna be. So I'm gonna snap the photo. I'm at 4-second exposure with f11. It's not bad. I'm really struggling to find the composition, if I'm being entirely honest with you all. It's a difficult task, especially this time of day. That makes it even more difficult. So I've just got to keep going, and hopefully the video is going to turn out okay. I still have on an ND filter. I'm still shooting with the Nikkor 24 to 70. Nothing's changed as far as my setup goes. I am starting to get hot though, and it's starting to get late, so I'm gonna continue moving. And I tried going in the direction that I originally said I was gonna go, back where it was shaded, but I can't really do that because the rocks back in that direction are super slippery, and that poses the threat of falling with camera gear, and I don't really want to do that. Today's not going to be the day I fall with camera gear, so I'm gonna head back towards the way where it's more sunny. I'll just have to adapt to my circumstances as far as that goes, but I just got to keep moving, and I got to hopefully find a good composition. So, I have ventured on down close to the sun area, and I have found what is my favorite composition of the day, at least. I believe you can see from the camera angle that there's a rock positioned directly in front of my camera. I'm focusing on that rock, and then there's some more pebbles and stuff in the background of that. I got a 2-second exposure. I'm still at f11. Which is giving the water a nice smooth effect, and it's also focusing, even at f11 it's somewhat focusing the pebbles in the background just a hair out of focus, which obviously you know I'm all about that. I like to have really nice bokeh. I'm gonna go up and take another shot at 2.5 seconds, and I'm gonna see how that looks. It also looks pretty good. I'm getting reflections and stuff from the tree and the sky. I'm getting a lot of blue tones in the water, which I absolutely love. I love reflections in photography. I have that ruddy turnstone image, which is a bird on the beach where it's got its perfect reflection. And that's one of my favorite pictures of all time, if not my absolute favorite. So I also love long exposures, which is why I love doing creek photography, because very rarely am I gonna get out of here and I'm gonna take an image that isn't gonna be long exposed. So I'm gonna look for 1 or 2 more compositions, and then we might call it a video. Typically when doing creek photography, I like to keep simple compositions. Today's no different. There's a rock sticking slightly up out of the water with some leaves on it. It's a nice little picture. I'm gonna go ahead and snap that. I'm at 4-second exposure, still using f11. I'm getting some reflections as well from the sky through here. There's kind of a blue tone behind the rock, and that looks pretty good. None of these are award-winning photos by any means, but they're not that bad. I'm going to find 1 more composition, and then I'm going to close the video. I did manage to find a final composition. Here's the picture. Not the best shot I've ever taken, but definitely not the worst one either. What did you guys think about today's pictures? Did you like them? Did you not? Which one was your favorite? If you want more videos like this, it helps me a lot if you like the video and subscribe to the channel, because it's gonna keep me making them. It would also really help me out a lot if you would purchase my book, Out of the Darkness. The links are down below in the description, and you can purchase the ebook version that you can read on your phone, iPad, tablet, computer. You can literally get any of those versions for just $10. I mean, that's really cheap. It's a great photo book, and it helps me out a lot when you buy it. So really, that's all I have for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. I know that some of you all have said that you're looking for the Nikkor 24-70mm f2.8 lens review. That is coming either this week or next week. I don't know when. I've been doing a lot of filming for it, and I think it's going to be a really great review. I have really big plans for it. I'm going to take a long time editing it to make sure that it's great and to the highest standard, and that you all will love it as well as myself. So thank you all for watching today's video. As always, I hope you guys have an amazing day.